a show to empower, enlighten, and entertain divas and those that love us.
And welcome to the Divalution Show. Wow, it's the end of February. I can't believe how fast this year is already going by. Can you? Can you guys?
No, it went by so fast.
It's unbelievable.
Got like 1 day left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm ready for spring.
I think they shorted us 3 days, though. I think that's why it went so fast. Hey, John Mayer's still singing back there. Alexa, shut the music off. She's the entertainer around here. She is the entertainer. So I am so happy that you're here tonight and just full of good news. We're full of good news today, and I love days like that. Every day really is like that, but today's exceptional because we have a bunch of stuff to tell you, and tonight's show is all about heart-centered businesses.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so Women to Women magazine is definitely one of them, and that's why they're our guests this evening. Why don't you two introduce yourselves? Deb?
I'm Deb Collins, publisher, owner of Women to Women Michigan Magazine, and we're a magazine that is in Genesee County as well as Saginaw Bay City, and soon to grow regionally. We have been 10 years with our publication. We're also digitally online, and we're located in over 400 locations. Growing.
Nice.
We are growing.
Nice. And who are you?
Hey, guys. This is Brittany, and I am the production manager at Women to Women magazine. So that covers everything from social media to interviewing and doing some of the more media projects that we have going on, and doing some sales as well, but just having a lot of fun, really.
So what's your latest thing? What are you on right now?
Right now, I just recently did a video promo for a local business in Flint called Curly Girl Cakes. So it was really cool.
So cute.
Yeah, it was really cool. She has some really good stuff. It looks good and it tastes good. But I put together a project for her, and it had a good reception online. So excited about doing more of that.
And that's really good. So how did you come to find Women to Women magazine?
She actually found me.
Aha.
And so had some things I had to work out career-wise, and then a door just opened up, and she took advantage of that and allowed me to have a position with her. So it was something that was meant to be. You know how things come together? That's how it came. It just came together.
I love when that happens.
Awesome.
It's
Synchronicity.
so cool. Yes. Yeah. And that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
very good. So how did you find her?
Well, I was actually interviewing salespeople and had been online and saw she had some production background, which I also have a radio background, quite a few years back, and just had the opportunity to have a conversation with her, and I loved her enthusiasm and her youth and her involvement in ministry, and the fact that she just loves mentoring and giving back to the girls in the community. And it took us, Britt, a couple months before we had the position open up, and I pretty much created the position to accommodate her.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I love that. That's cool.
Awesome.
And seems like you two get along well.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun working with her.
Good. Good.
Never a dull moment.
Never. Yeah. Never. So heart-centered businesses. Deborah Collins, why do you do what you do?
Why do I do? Good question. Probably because I've been in the business world for close to 30 years and just feel that there's a better way to run a business than some of the situations that I had been involved in. And I think there's a lot of women out there that have so much to offer, that sometimes they need a platform. They need to be able to express their voice, and which is why I launched the magazine. It was really a retirement project for me.
Excuse me.
that really has taken over my life. So we're enjoying the creative process, and every day is something different. But everything that we do, we try to give back in some way. I do a lot of support of local charities. I'm very, very interested in supporting, especially things that are centered around women and self-esteem.
Right. And all the things that you just said are basically all the same reasons W4 Divas
Absolutely.
exists. Right. So that's why I think we get along so well and our businesses mesh so well.
Yes.
Because everything is so in alignment.
Right.
In alignment?
In alignment.
Okay. Right. So you've discovered each other, and now you're part of Women2Women magazine.
Yes.
And why is that different for you? Because it is a heart-centered business, and I'm assuming the last business you were in was not.
I would say, in a media profession, there are goals to generate popularity and facilitate entertainment. So it's not created to be necessarily a heart-centered thing as much as it is, generating funds. But it was a loving environment, I will say that.
Oh, that's nice. That makes a difference.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. It was a very nice environment. But just understanding the business is a business. Business runs on money, not love. So, it's okay.
Really, Brett?
It's okay. It's
Educate
okay.
Now she tells us.
It's okay. I wish we could do that. I wish I could pay all my bills with love. But,
Yes, me
you
too.
just can't. But with working with her, her being a heart-centered business, I was told once that what comes from the heart reaches the heart. So she reaches a lot of women internally because it comes from inside.
Right.
So that makes a big difference. Great.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. And everybody that works there is so nice.
Oh yeah, it's a family
Most
environment.
Right.
most days.
Right. Most days, right.
Most
But
all
we
the
all
It is
have
women.
those
It's
days.
we're all
Right.
working with
Right.
women. We all have our moments,
Right.
Right.
but we
Very
love each
true.
other,
Right. Yep. And that's all that matters, really.
and there's a respect there.
Right. So in a heart-centered business, it envelops itself differently. It shows itself differently to the outside. So, for example, when you go on sales calls, it's not all about bottom lines. It's about being involved in something that matters.
I would agree.
So how do you sell that?
But when I go out on sales calls, it was always my sales style, even when I was in advertising sales, to really, I didn't have to sell, because really what I was there was to showcase that business, that what their goals were and what they were trying to achieve.
And how you fit in?
And how I fit into that, and how I could help them. And if I go in with that approach, not with a dollar sign on my forehead that says, I need this
Which
for
is
me.
how so many sales calls are run.
Exactly.
Right. So that makes you different.
So I will, I'll walk away from business as well if I don't think it's a good fit. I think we should be part of most media buys. That is just my personal preference, but I can't be all things to all people, and I do think it's part of a media mix. So I'm not a pushy salesperson. I really feel that when you put your heart out there and you structure your business to be able to run that business with integrity, which is extremely important to my mission, then the right people will come in line with me.
Right.
Now, I'd like them to come a little sooner than later. So,
I hear that. But you go about it. I know we've all bought cars. That is not a heart-centered business.
No,
That's
and I'm
all
married to a car
bottom
dealer.
line. And my husband was a car salesperson.
Yeah.
So that is, again, and what are our names?
Debbie.
It's funny.
It wasn't Rob, was it?
So it's different. It's I know when I go on sales calls, I just tell them what we do, how many people we reach, what their advertising dollars do for the station, and whose lives it touches.
Exactly.
Not everybody is in alignment with that. Not everybody cares if they're talking to women that to empower, enlighten, and entertain divas and those that love us.
No.
But the ones that do.
That's right.
And that's the same with the magazine. And I love the magazine and what you do
Thank you.
with everything. What's the process there after you get the sale? There's so much love that goes into that magazine.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a team effort, and we establish themes going forward for the year. And for those that are not familiar with Women to Women, you can go on our website and see the digital version. We feature authors on the cover of the magazine, and then we always do a highlight, and we have specialty features that are just standard features in the publication. So we have a pool of writers. Most of those writers also become speakers. Since we are a dual-based formatted company, we also produce the women's expos, women's events, and a variety of different subjects that we need speakers for. So I always say that when I do an expo or an event, I'm bringing the magazine to life.
Oh, that's really nice, yes. And I'll tell you, it's the two things that I love doing the most are writing and speaking.
And you're such a good fit.
And you let me do both of those.
I do.
I love that.
Well, I like the collaboration.
Yes, me too. It's really good. It works.
It does work. And I think it's really nice to be able to show women how, just by example, how we can collaborate and support each other. And I think, personally, as a heart-centered business, I go back to, I think we all have a responsibility, especially in this day and age, that women are supporting each other. And it's not something that we always see. I think it's getting better.
Hopefully.
And I think as we are sharing the tools to make that happen, it's going to keep getting better and better.
Yes. And I think certain things happen in timelines for a reason, and that hashtag #MeToo movement.
Isn't that?
I think
the
that
timing?
unified us. What do you think about that?
I think it did. I think it shed light on a lot of issues that have been existing for a long time. And a lot of times when we view issues, we view them, sometimes we can view them according to race. And the Me Too hashtag is something that is happening to people regardless of race, class, profession. It's happening across various boundaries. So I think that it's important because we're seeing that we're facing issues as women, not just as a certain type of woman. We're just, as women, we're facing a lot of this. So we have more similarities than we have differences. So.
Yep, and hopefully that's showing us that. The beauty of that is if you look back in history, everything is cyclical. And every now and then something happens to unify us. Like when all the men went off to war and women had to work in factories. And then, what was the vote. What about the vote? Women
suffrage.
Yes. So and now hashtag Me Too. I mean, if you look, it's like we drift apart and then we come together, and then we drift apart and we come together. I know a lot of moms that work now come together. Anyway, I'm getting off subject. So, but heart-centered businesses can be owned by men or women, and that hashtag Me Too can be men or women. We've only found women coming out so far, but
we view abuse differently when it comes to men and women.
Right.
That's probably, it probably happens just as much, but we don't. Society doesn't look at it the same way. I mean, for a man, that's considered a compliment for a woman to address you, in a way.
Yeah, they take it differently, don't they? So, yeah, that's true. I never thought of that before. That's true. So the statistics show that there's more women in college right now than men, and I think that was because of the economy. So many of them had to drop out and get jobs. And it's also more women